Hello, hello. Welcome to the live chat. Welcome to the live chat. Hello, hello. Welcome to the live chat. How's everybody doing today? Okay, let's see. We have Annie Bullard, Sayana Sara, Lydia Washington. Hello, welcome to the live chat. Church Nelly. And let's see. Annie Bullard, Kenneth Doug, Tanya Thomas, Gwendolyn Daniels, Bright Eyes, PBJ, Patty, Charlotte B, bonsoir. Let me see, Fancy, Joan Commonwealther, Cookies and Cream, Denise Jones, and Francilia Mosley. Okay, I like that name. Um, Okay, so somebody doesn't seem to know I'm doing a live chat and they just keep calling. Oh boy. Let me turn my phone off. It's going to be one of those. Okay. There we go. All right, the phone is off. I still have not figured out how to take it off of my computer. You know, when you have an Apple phone and an Apple computer, everything links up together, like it or not. And sometimes some of your more intimate information may be shared amongst the entire family. I don't know if that's ever happened to you before, but it can prove to be very embarrassing. Good morning, Gina Suchi. Um, Angela One Love, welcome. And Karen, welcome. Wanda F. Eccles, welcome. Patricia Nixon, hi, hi. Okay, so I don't know what to say to you guys about the news of the day. Obviously, um, there's a Putin in the room, and nobody can avoid talking about it. So I won't go on about it right now because I didn't sleep much. I did not sleep much. I was up very late. Um, anytime there's some type of conflict like that, or war, invasion, whatever you want to call it, anytime something like that happens, um, I find myself unable to sleep because cities like the ones that are under attack may be just like the town you're in right now. And I can't help um, thinking that what would it be like to go to bed and then wake up with those sirens blaring and all that kind of stuff. So um, I'm really praying about the situation because it is very, very disturbing, and it makes me feel very helpless for the people affected by it. So it's very unfortunate, and if you know anybody in the you know harm's way or something like that, let's just pray for them. Just all we could do, and um, when things make more sense, whatever help we can lend, then that's what we have to do. So that being said, good morning to you, one and all. Um, huh. So that's interesting. So Harry and Meghan are going to be on NAACP awards. Is that right? Did that just come in? Because I have been combing the news all morning, and that's the first I've heard of that. I surely hope so. That would be really cool. And please, I hope the date of the award just happens to coincide with a trip to the Caribbean because I am just that petty. I should hope that it coincides in some kind of way because that would be really cool. Not that I'm trying to start anything, but that would be very, very cool. So, Harry is going back to court again. We heard that yesterday. That came out during the live yesterday. And, as per usual, it's something to do with the Daily Fail. All roads seems to lead back to Lord Nappyhead's paper. They, I guess they must make a lot of money that they put themselves at risk again and again of some type of litigation because they just have to keep this grudge match going. And it just reminds me of that speech that Harry gave when they were leaving town, when he said that um, that they were not going to just sit back and take it. He said that they were going to sue. They agreed as a couple, you know, that they would take on these bullies. And even though a lot of his friends said that they are going to destroy you, and they were afraid for him and afraid for her, um, they were already under constant attack. Had they stayed in a place where they would have no voices and no, reasonable chance of going after the bullies, then they would have just been a sitting duck. And nobody in that family over there felt compelled to try to defend them. Not even Her Majesty the Queen, who seems to either be somehow greatly incapacitated, or she has a finger on the pulse of the nation and always seems to know what's going on. It depends on which narrative suits the conversation or pushes the agenda. But um, so they were just sitting ducks over there, and thank goodness they're out of there. And as I said yesterday, whether or not you like the fact that someone put those photos out there, at least we know that the Sussexes are living their best life. Um, and there's no going back for them. And even if they can't get the security thing worked out, that may be for the better. As I said before, with the no half in, half out, sometimes God will do for us what we can't do for ourselves. So it's it may work out better in the end. I mean, I hate that Harry has this need to go home. Well, I don't mean it like that. I don't hate that he has a need to go home. I just hate that he can't go home, that he's unable to share that with his children, because even though we have our feelings about it, that is still something that is very important to him. So we have to respect that. And yeah, home is home, and that's just the way it is. So, okay. We're watching a petulant child who didn't get his rattle go into a fit of rage. Now, that could be a lot of people. Is that is that Putin, or is that one who went to go to MI6 today? If I'm correct, I believe they said that one particular petulant child, someone who is constantly incandescent with rage, made a trip to the MI6 today, because actually, what is the because? That's the I guess the operative question. What is the Because he's not an elected official. He's not an intelligence agency, obviously. So what was the purpose of that? But you know what? I'll let you all over there worry about that. Okay. So let's see. Got my slides set up for a change. I'm not sure if I should lead with this because there's enough going on right now, but I guess we just have to start somewhere, don't we? Um, well, then here goes. Let me do this. Okay, got to start somewhere. So let's start with that vicious bowl of Jello. Apparently, someone seems to think there's some unfinished business. Yep, that's that someone. Pig Morgan. Now, Dr. Shola. Oh, Sheila Watson, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the super sticker. This is a great way to start a podcast. Dr. Shola seems to be of the opinion that, well, anyway, she says, methinks Pierce Morgan is desperate for high ratings for his new show. He is delusional. Meghan Markle has no unfinished business with him. He's using her name to draw the media and grab headlines. Who's the attention seeker now? All right. So there you have it. Dr. Sholip decided to tweet that recently, and she's absolutely right. I mean, he accused the Duchess of Sussex of being the one who's the attention seeker, right? Even though she was almost like invisible for what was it, 5 months, with only maybe two occasions where she was seen publicly. And then recently, someone who is supposed to be so drawn to the cameras. This is what is so silly about these derangers, the way that they love to try to condemn the Duchess of Sussex. She has rarely been seen for what, 2 years? It's been 2 years. There were the trips to New York. There was what a the Ellen show and other occasional sightings. There were some Zoom calls, but other than that, I haven't done the exact count of how many occasions on how many days we've actually seen the Duchess of Sussex. But it's as though because she has been um, caring for her family, establishing herself back in her home, California, her home state of California. So she's had a lot on her plate. And if well, I don't even have to tell you guys this, but if she was this camera hog, and speaking of camera hogs, uh, where is that at? Little present for you. Camera hog. There you go. If she was a camera hog, like that hog head Pierce Morgan. I mean, that big hog jowl, hog head, hog maw. If she was in any way a camera hog, like the real camera hog, the real attention seeker, um, yeah, I mean, especially the picture on the right. I swear that looks like something that just kind of washed up on the beach, and scientists are not sure exactly what species it is, that it may have been around even before the shark. Now, that's a camera hog. Um, so, yeah, when someone, I guess, try to accuse the Duchess of Sussex of being a camera hog, I'm always going to reference Pierce Morgan, that hog head Pierce Morgan, the one who was just so full of himself that he zoomed out of the studio that day, never to return. And he said he was fired even though he quit. That Pierce Morgan. So that is the real camera hog. We all know that to be true. I'm not even going to throw an allegedly or possibly or considerably in there. It just happens to be true. And he loves condemning women of color. And in particular, he loves to go after the Duchess of Sussex as a way to big himself up. Not that he's not big, not that he's not already larger than life, but that's just one of the ploys that he used to make himself, seem relevant. So without the Duchess of Sussex, I mean, you could just do the math. Where is he? Where has he been? I mean, occasionally he'll throw some little barb out there or whatever, but essentially he has been disappeared. He's been taken out. He's been removed from the daily consciousness of not just the UK, but the very few people here in the United States who actually watched him on Good Morning Britain. He's a non-entity. He's on the peripherique, as they say, right, Charlotte? He's on the peripherique, the outer limit. So we don't have to really concern ourselves with him. He'll just be out there. I mean, his best possible vehicle was when he was on Good Morning Britain, because he could act with impunity there. and no one seemed to be able to stop him. And then enters Dr. Shola, and of course, Alex, where is my shirt, Beresford? Um, those two people are the ones that took him down. They just really allowed him to implode. So don't worry about him. He's a non-issue. Not even worth responding to. But thank you, Dr. Shola, for reminding us exactly how far he has fallen. So, um, but yeah, this was part of a tweet here. We have unfinished business. Pierce Morgan reaches out to Meghan Markle for TV interview. As if. That shows you desperation. Now he has some little talk show thing that he does. He's had people like Boy George, Joan Collins. I can't even think of who else been on the show because it just it's kind of like Pierce Morgan on the taking over for Larry King. Nobody was interested, nobody cared, and it seemed as though it was a big fat nothing burger. So that is where Pierce Morgan is right now. Um, and um, what is it? Bon voyage, Pierce Morgan. Bon voyage. So your comments. Let me see what we have there. Oh, good Lord. I'm going to need more coffee. I told you guys I didn't sleep much. I did mention that, didn't I? This is going to be a tough day. Fox News, Faux News uses that defense. They are an entertainment company. Nothing should be taken as news. This is how they got out of the $1.3 billion lawsuit. Uh, well, yeah, I mean, they it's entertainment when it's convenient for them, but um, when it's actually a story out there that deserves real coverage, then at that point they pretend as though they're what was that they used to say, fair and balanced. Yeah, when they're anything but that. Cookies and cream. Hello. Why doesn't Pork Moron talk about that person, Bear? Um, he needs to leave Meghan alone. Prince Harry isn't playing around anymore. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Prince Harry has shown that he was going to live up to exactly what was said on the way out of Narnia. We are not going to go away quietly in the night. Of course, that's my words, not his, but that was what he meant. We're not going away quietly in the night. So, but yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure. Okay. And then, of course, these are my last pathetic images of ITV snub to Pierce. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Goodbye, Pierce Morgan. And go back to your little I guess you can call that room there his little shrine to his obsession with the Duchess of Sussex, because that's what it is. It's an obsession that he has with her, as evident by anyway his behavior. Okay, so let me see. Next slide. Well, do you guys want to do this now or you want to talk about this later? Let's just do it now. Cost of living crisis, extra 1 million UK children set to go hungry. Right. And someone who will not speak out about that for anything in the world, just one of many, should I say, that will not speak out about that was frolicking and laughing and jazz handing over there in Denmark, um, while for a lot of children and families that are going hungry back in the UK. Now, some might say, well, you know, why 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 talk about this? Because how many times have I seen the Daily Fail takes someone's comment from their comment section or someone's tweet saying something like, well, why don't the Sussexes take some of that money from Netflix and pay for this or pay for that? Huh? But they have money too. Carol has plenty money. Even if Kate has no money of her own, Carol's got money. There's plenty of money there. They, you know, um, I don't ever recall seeing the Cambridges go to any of the food shelters. I remember they went to Hub Kitchen and they weren't very helpful. The Queen went to Hub Kitchen and she wasn't very helpful. But the Duchess of Sussex went to the Hub Kitchen, and voila, next thing you know, there's a cookbook. There's plenty of funding. They're able to keep the Hub Kitchen open instead of just having the Hub Kitchen open for a few days a week whenever they could afford it. Thanks to our Duchess, they were able to have a week long operation that was able to fulfill the dietary needs of the people in the community who, of course, were most of them had the halal um, dietary needs. So, yeah, that's what the Hub Kitchen fulfilled. But all of those royals, this is why y'all have to watch the Duchess of Impact. Duchess of Impact brings lots of receipts. All of the royals went to that Hub Kitchen, and none of them were able to do anything. But when the Duchess of Sussex, an American, gets there, and she goes, well, you know what? Why don't we um, write a cookbook? Yeah, we should write a cookbook. A cookbook, which, of course, became a bestseller. I have one myself. I think most of the squatties have one. But yeah, that cookbook, the Hub Kitchen cookbook, the community cookbook, that became a bestseller, and they were able to keep the place going. What was it? 7 days a week? Was it now 7 days a week? Anyway, and of course, Camilla Tominey, she decided to go after the women of the Hub Kitchen by, finding some loose link to this or that, and the whole Islamophobic thing. And anyway, we know the story about that. So, yeah, that's what happens when the Sussexes get involved. Let's see. Okay. But yeah, there's this happening, and she's over there goofing around and jazz handing and stuff. Kids go hungry, storms in UK, sewage water. I saw that sewage water. Oh my god, that was awful. I hope you're not exposed to that. I mean, I'm sorry if anybody is exposed to it. But let me see. No heat to stay warm. You know what, you guys? I don't want to. Okay, I'll just say this. I noticed that Morali. I noticed that when he's the last few podcasts he's done, he was wearing, what would you call it, a jumper? And I'm just like, that would make sense. I mean, I don't know that that's the case, and I'm not getting in his business, but um, I've seen like the news reports where so many people were deciding to like layer up even when they're at home instead of turning on, the heat or something like that because the prices are outrageous. But someone's keening to talk about child development in one of the wealthiest countries with the highest standard of living, um, Copenhagen, in Denmark. There was someone who went over there to talk to them about their children so that they'll know that there's something wrong with their kids' heads. Yeah, so that was way more important. That was way more important than anything like a cost of living crisis in the UK. So I'm glad that she's keening to do that, because the weight of empire can't rest upon her shoulders, then who can carry the weight? I don't know. I don't get it. UK children set to go hungry, royal family hoarding all the taxpayers' money, but they won't let Catty Kate eat a sandwich. Yeah, she's just like one ham sandwich away from disaster. She's literally a ham sandwich away from disaster. None of the royal rats had a clue about Meghan and the cookbook until Meghan announced it. So, of course, Camilla Tominley is a liar, tried to attack Meghan. Didn't she, though? That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. That Easter Island head of a so called journalist went on the attack. And it's, that whole thing was just, you have these housewives, these young mothers, grandmothers in this kitchen, and all of a sudden, thanks to this individual, suddenly they don't feel safe in their own country. I said it, in their own country, they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe in their homes because someone came up with some kind of contrived um, fantasy about who they knew and what a so and for what was the point of it aside trying to somehow disparage the Duchess of Sussex? That was the entire purpose of it, was to figure out some new way to tear her down. And in the meantime, the fact that those women of the kitchen, these very hardworking women who are trying to hold up their community, the fact that these women were suddenly fearful for themselves and their family, that meant nothing to her. And so when someone says to me, should we really speak about people in such a, yes, we should. Yes, we should. There's nothing that I could say could possibly make her feel as bad as those women at the Hub Kitchen could feel. Nothing in the world could make me feel as bad as they felt by the time she got through lying, which is what she did. She lied. She lied because that was her marching orders. That's came from within the house or whatever. She lied. She just simply lied, and it was okay. And she got away with it because, I'll just say, because she got away with it. Okay. So that's how I feel about it. So yeah, I it doesn't. I tell you, it's for me. It's like therapy. It helps to unburden some of the things that I feel. That's just my way of looking at it. Um, Oh yeah, yeah. Um, as a matter of fact, the Cambridges, and this is why it's so good that the Sussexes remove themselves from that country, because everything that the Sussexes were doing, the Cambridge, especially for William, it's been a lifetime of trying to take credit for other people's stuff. So that should never be a surprise. William has spent a lifetime. Um, I mean, just like the Queen's canopy, the Queen is not going to go to these places where the canopies are located, but it's done in the Queen's name, which is a way to help brand the royal family. So anything that is branding for them, whether it is someone going to play tennis with a tennis star, like Kate did that time, she went and played tennis with a tennis star. She laughed, she smiled, she posed, and then she went home. But it just, it's like instead of people trying to gravitate toward the royals, hoping that some of that stardust will rub off on them, you have the um, the Kensington Palace crew racing over to these stars, celebrities, athletes, hoping that somehow they can keep themselves relevant. So, um, thank goodness the Sussexes are out of there. So, let me see. I'm going to do a deep scroll. Sorry if I'm missing anything. Baron, he's supposed to be in Los Angeles at the moment. Someone should find out where he is, stalk him, and give him a taste of his own medicine. Oh, you mean Morgan? Is that who you're saying is in California right now? Um, yeah, but the Santa Barbara, Montecito area, it's not really a place for loitering. especially they don't have pigs running wild in the street. They do not allow pigs to run wild in the street in Montecito, at least as far as I know, they don't. But and he certainly couldn't afford to buy property there, that's for sure. Not on his salary. Okay, I mean, who gets a gift like the Larry King show and you can't even keep that? I mean, Larry King was not known for his edgy journalism. It was pretty much just a conversation. He couldn't even keep that going. Okay, maybe that's why Eugenie and her family are in California with the Sussexes because they are having problems heating their home at Frogmore. I love it. I love it. Exactly. Exactly. And I feel I have to tell you, um, it is that's one of the blessings that I know that I have in my life is that one thing about the United States, even some of the poorest people in the country have heating and air conditioning, and it and is that's one thing we get right. And so anytime people complain about the United States, it's too much of this, too much of that, there's too much violence, too many guns, all that, blah, blah, blah. Well, one thing that at least we get right is that I know some of the poorest people who have no problem heating and air conditioning their homes, and that's just the way it is. And so, at least that's something that we can get right here. Um, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and I don't discount or overlook that blessing because um it's something that has never been an issue my entire life, and I'm grateful for that. So we and especially on a day like today, have a gratitude moment, please. Everyone have a gratitude moment. I'm very glad for this platform, and I really have a lot of gratitude for the fact that you guys tune in and hang out and have this conversation. That is something that was totally unexpected almost a year ago, but we're here, and I'm glad for it. So thank you. So Don Robinson Gales, thank you so much for the super sticker. Um, I'm going to extend my gratitude. Thank you. At the time of the cookbook was published, it was under the Royal Foundation, comprised of the Fab Four. Yeah, yep, yeah. So that's why that happened. There was that entanglement, and of course, when Kate married into the family, she joined the foundation, and then eventually Meghan. And Harry carried a lot of weight of that foundation on his own. And then once the Duchess of Sussex had come along, could you imagine where that foundation would be right now if the Sussexes have stayed? I mean, on the one hand, it could be in tatters because I think that the jealousy from the Cambridges probably would have undermined a lot of things, and you would have had the Sussexes working hard just so that they could receive the glory, just so that they would have to walk behind those two at certain events or whatever. So, oh, it was a lot for Harry to give up, but he's gained so much in the process. Harry is a great networker, and that's is what the royal benefited from. How Harry is working for himself, and that family can't take credit for his work. Not anymore, Joyce. Not anymore. Okay, always praying for Harry, Meghan, and their family. The saddest has to leave Harry and Meghan alone. Oh, the sadists, I'm sorry. The sadists have to leave Harry and Meghan alone. He must sue liars daily, fail if need be. Well, yeah, the daily fail. Well, let's get to that, shall we? Let's get to that. I can come back and revisit this one because I wasn't exactly through yet. But don't worry, like a good piece of chicken wing, I'll come back and pick at it some more. So there's a lot of flavor in that flipper, that little end of the wing. That's where all the flavor is. So we'll come back to that and pick at it some more. Oh boy, if I don't sound country right now, I don't know what I sound like. Okay, so this is where it all started. So yesterday, Ethan's husband, number one, asked me about this Kate Mansley, and I'm just like, I don't know who she is. Um, I don't really like store the names of those reporters. Some of them I couldn't point them. Well, and then Mansi, I mean, she's given me all that masculine energy, so she really lives up to her name of this Kate Mansi. So, having done a little research, and also thank you. There's actually a squatty that makes sure that I am kept up with a lot of things through a direct message, so I appreciate that. Um, anyway, revealed how Harry tried to keep his legal fight over bodyguards secret. So this is a story that broke suddenly from the fail that Harry was trying to keep that a secret, and so that's when, of course, the um, through their representatives, Harry had to release a statement about that, questioning the curious timing of this leak. Because, as you know, there are no leaks in Montecito. The leaks almost exclusively come from the other side of the Atlantic. And so anything that's happening with the Sussexes in California, like a night out on the town, a trip shopping, any of those things, or perhaps an appearance on the Ellen show, or whatever business they're taking care of in New York City, they are oblivious to that. And that is so frustrating to them because they are so used to controlling the narrative as far as the Sussexes are concerned, and now they are kind of left high and dry because, as I said, no leaks in Montecito. So Kate Mansley is in trouble for lying through her teeth. She will soon be a world exclusive herself. That is what one of the squatties said. Because, like it or not, she has found herself right in the middle of something representing, of course, the tabloid press and this ongoing grudge against the Sussexes. So it's too bad for her, um, Kate Manzi. But when you start getting yourself in the middle of things with the Sussexes, then it's kind of what you asked for. I mean, this is the attention that you wanted, and now you got it. It's too bad that people spend all that time studying to be a journalist and then they go and work for the tabloid media. And instead of like really doing some investigative reporting that could make a difference to people, they are upholding the aristocracy and in particular the royal family. And yeah, it's just it's unfortunate. Let's see. Eugenie works for an art gallery and had a show in LA. She was there for work extra. Benny that she got, is that Beanie? Yeah, anyway, that she got to hang with her cousin and his family. So that must be I don't, okay. Yeah. But yeah, so okay, so she had worked there and she had a chance to hang with her cousin and family. That's excellent. And it seems like every week we're finding out that the Sussexes have plenty of other young couples to play date with. Have you noticed that? They have the perfect digs for it, right? They have that estate there in Montecito, which costs a whopping $114 billion and has 110 bathrooms. They have a huge house where they can entertain. So it's good to know that they're actually making good use of it instead of living like they're under siege. The last thing I would want is for the Sussexes to have to live under siege. Looks like they aren't done with Andrew. So some areas here in the UK are talking about changing street names that are named after him. Poor Andrew. Good, good, good. And of course, the town of York, the town of York, they do not, well, the city of York, they do not want him as a representative because they said York is a world class city and that they have relations with other cities and municipalities around the world, that whole sister city thing like that. And of course, I mean, um, when I took my grand tour of the UK, one of the places I was sure to go was to the town of York. So York is very well known. I mean, the city of York gets New York gets its name from York. I mean, that's a connection that's always going to be there. You have York, you have New York. You have Jersey, you have New Jersey, you have Orleans, you have New Orleans. So it's it's on the map of the world, and to be represented by that guy is pretty embarrassing. So I could totally understand why they would want to change street names, and of course, the town of York would appreciate if he stops calling himself the Duke of York. So when they say that they want to remove that what do they call it, minister of state, or what is that title that they have, that Harry it will keep with his Frogmore, um you know what I mean. It escapes him right now. So anyway, with that, they want to remove that from him. um Counselor of state. Anyway, they want to remove that from him, right? So I guess they have to say that so we don't have to focus on the fact that there is an entire city in the United Kingdom that wants to remove the title Duke and Duchess of York from this guy. They want that gone. They don't want him to represent them anymore. So there you have it. Okay. Well, Eugenie. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Don't look into his eyes. Don't look into his eyes. I'll take it away right now. I said don't stare into his eyes. Okay. And let me get rid of her for a second. Well, Eugenie, she can afford her own rent having a job in the U.S. The country, British people love to hate and its citizens. Okay. Yeah, the tabloid be to have it in for the U.S., especially Joe Biden, and of course the Obamas, and pretty much anybody of color is a target of the tabloid press these days. Baron just began watching and started from the top. Your reference to Hoghead might turn people off. um, Pauline, please don't sneak up on me like that. What if I was taking a sip of water? What if I was taking a sip of water? I could be like drowning in coffee right now, or my bottled water. So yes, please don't sneak up on me like that, because I had moved on and I had forgot all about Hoghead, and then you slipped that in there, and I nearly lost it. So um, play fair, play fair. This hog head of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Whoa, this hog head of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes. Okay, so I love it. You guys are so funny sometimes. I mean, Pauline just walked up, pulled the pin on the grenade, threw it in the room, closed the door, and just destroyed me. So, thank you for that. As I said, I know I'm a little dry today, but I was up late because I was like really bothered by stuff that's going on right now. So, which happens anytime there's some big conflict like that. So I'm not my best self today, but you know what, you guys, I'm here for you. So, and thank you all for being here with me. Um, so we were talking about the lawsuit. So yeah, so Harry's suing. Lord Nappyhead doesn't seem to get the message. I don't know how much more of this he can afford, but they say that he has $1 billion fortune and that he's, one of the wealthiest people in the country. He's one of the one percenters as well as an aristocrat. And he's kind of like, I feel like he's a relative because, well, he's Lord Nappyhead. Lord Rothermere, Viscount, Lord Nappyhead. That's what I call him. So Lord Nappyhead. Um, but yeah, he hasn't gotten the message yet, and I tell you, that parade of freaky looking reporters at the Daily Fail that constantly attack the Sussexes, I hope they find peace because obviously something is not right with them that they do that for a living. Okay. When bad global events occur, I take my mind off by pondering imponderable. What is that? Imponderables. Like, why did it take Kate so long to go down and slide? Shall we talk about that, Diane? Shall we talk about that? Because I was totally prepared to go there, and I got a little sidetracked with the lawsuit. But let's go. Let's do this. So, all right. So yeah, there was that awkward pause between Kate's head disappearing at the top of the slide, and then it seemed like it took a month of Sundays for her to shoot out the bottom. Now they said she nearly flew into the reporters when she reached the bottom. I can't see how that would happen because she wasn't moving that fast. I mean, literally, it was like tick, tick, tick. You know what I just realized? Look at the guy in the back there. It looks like he's got a white t-shirt on. All the way in the back of the slide. Look at her left hand, and just above it, you can see a head peeking around. Like, tell me she didn't just do that. But yeah, there's like some. I guess that's. I don't think that's a kid. I think that's an. Yeah, maybe it's a kid peeking around, looking at this Duchess, this princess of the realm, sliding down, and he's probably was like me wondering what's taking so long. It's the jazz hands. But why do we need to know the payment arrangements? Some comments assume they are living free. I have an apartment in New York that's a sublease. The occupants pay me and I pay the landlord. Okay. Okay, I won't get into that one, but all right. This one. Now, the Danish media seems to have little or no deference for the British royal family. They said that Kate showed up not once, but twice late. Kate was late. Lady Katie, not lady, but late T, late Kate, was keening to go to Denmark so she can try to explain to them what may be wrong with their children's heads. And then she showed up late. Now, they said the flight came in late, so maybe she had no control over that. Let's be fair. And then Keening Kate, in her keeningness most season in years, I mean, this is the most work that she's done in years. And so they said that, she was late meeting with the Danish royal family, whatever. So, okay, so that happened. Again, maybe that was something out of her control. But Kate does not appear to look well. I mean, when she smiles, she throws her head back and everything seems to fall into place. But in those unguarded moments, you can see someone who looks rather frail, someone who seems like they haven't slept, and this is a very wealthy woman who has around the clock care for herself, her children, her husband whenever he's around. So it's not like she's wanting for anything. And with that being said, why do she look totally distraught? Why? So the Danish media, instead of using the usual filters that is used by the British media, the Danish media decided to show a complete lack of deference. Now, they said that the um, palace, the Kensington Palace or Buckingham Palace, tried to intimidate the Danish press corps. Don't ask any questions about you know who. Don't ask any questions. Just don't. And so, yeah, I think somehow she avoided questions. They used a lot of children as shields, right, to try to keep her and any relevant questions from occurring in front of the children. But and so the photo on the right, they said, well, there was a caption that went along with that that said that the Danish crown prince Mary was a bit startled by the hyena laugh of the Duchess of Cambridge. So yeah, and there's actually like one of the tabloids. They said she won just barely, but she won. And when they said she won, they were speaking in it was very petty. Even I'm not that petty, but they said that the Duchess of Cambridge won this competition between the Crown Prince Mary of Denmark. Now, she won. She won, right? Well, let's see if this makes her a winner. The person in the middle and on the left, that person is 40 years old. The one on the right, Crown Prince Mary, she's 50. Did you guys know that? Crown Prince Mary is 50 years old. Is this working? Crown Prince Mary is 50 years old. She's 50, but the big headline from one of the tabloids, Kate wins. Not by much, but Kate wins. Is she really winning? Is she winning? Kate is 40, just turned 40. Crown Princess Mary is 50 years old, half a century old. That's all I'll say. Next slide. So, yesterday, as you all know, sometimes when I get a little sick of people, and I do mean sick, I decided to go to my meme making machine. In other words, I started scratching my heads. I said, I got to do something with those hands. I got to do something with those hands, you know? And so I was thinking about that movie, Victor Victoria. But then also I was having like a Bob Fosse moment. Won't you play me that jazz hot? Baby is holding my soul together. Jazz hands. And this happened. I know, but I was in that state of mind and I just said to myself, you know what? I'm about sick of her. You hear me? Sick. So I decided to go and do a little Photoshop, and that's what I came up with. So all I can say to you guys is, you're welcome. Um, if you have Twitter, you may have seen it already, but I was in that mood. I just didn't care. I mean, the Europe is on the brink of war. Some people in the UK find it hard to heat their homes. There's flash floods. We're expecting another big snowstorm here in the United States. Um, a former president sides with the enemy. So yeah, I was just like, I need to do something, and that's how that was born. Now, full disclosure: the first time I heard someone call her jazz hands, I was watching Celibacy. They have a YouTube channel, and I was watching it, and when they said it, it just captured my imagination. I'm like, oh my god! And so after they said jazz hands, I couldn't stop seeing them. I could not stop seeing those hands flailing away. So I was like, okay, okay. So as you know, I've said it quite a few times. And then yesterday I'm just like, you know what? I'm going for it. So woo! It just fits. It's like a jazz hand to a glove. It just fits. So anyway, that's your treat for Thursday. Little jazz hand, little, Bob Fosse. Um, okay. Case favorite. No, I did not. I did not. Edward. Um, but you know what? You just gave me an idea. I don't know why I didn't put him in the chorus. But da 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 da. One singular sensation. um, Let me see. Mary has an anti-bullying platform, something Kate can do in the UK. She is also a double major in commerce and law. Really? Okay, come on, Crown Prince Mary, who's 10 years older than King Kate. Okay, let me see. Amanda is at my house, at my home, that is, and she's listening for the first time and can't stop laughing. Hello, Amanda. Welcome to the live chat. Welcome to Royal Sussex. But yeah, well, thank you for sharing Royal Sussex with one of your friends. Um, that is so cool. Okay. They used to report that Kate was smoking 25 a day. I guess she has gone up to 50 now. She looks too old. I didn't know she smoked. Is that true? I mean, oh, Kate is a bundle of nerves. I'm telling you, that girl is wound so tight that one of these days, it's like if the laughter ever stops, if she ever stops laughing, I'm gonna run. I'm just gonna run. Anybody around her when she stops laughing, you best get to stepping because she is going to snap like a fresh snow pea. She is going to snap. I'm telling you, when that hyena thing stops, run because she's going to be very difficult to be around. Seriously, I mean that poor thing is going to implode. I mean, just a grinning and 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 grinning. I wonder if she practices that in the mirror. Does she just? I mean, I could just imagine the kids like, "Mommy, what are you doing?" A grinning, a grinning, and grinning, and a grinning, and grinning, and grinning, and grinning. I mean, but it looks so forced. And look at the photo there. See the lady with the fuchsia on? That is the tennis legend, Billie Jean King. See that down there in the lower left? Imagine what she must be thinking. It's like Billie Jean King's face is saying, but that wasn't even funny. What is she laughing at? Is she for real? Yeah, that the sad part is, I think she's serious about it. All of the grinning and yeah, if she ever stops grinning, um, I'm telling you, it's gonna be like someone hit a switch. Okay, so that's I'm just saying. Individual results may vary. Thank you, Baron, for the laughs on daily. On a daily make working from home goes by fast. Okay, well, Sawboss, I'm glad and congratulations for being able to work at home. Um, there's a lot of people who prefer that over the trip to the office or whatever. So that's very cool. Okay. Before Meghan, here in the UK, they used to say she would wake up, smoke, and then look at what she is wearing, and then smoke and said 25 a day. I had no idea, you guys. I'm shocked. I had no idea that she was a smoker. I mean, that explains a lot. No wonder she's aging rapidly. Did I go too heavy on the R? Rapidly aging. No wonder. Well, that explains it. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Well, yeah, okay. It is what it is, but oh, you guys, honestly, I do feel kind of bad for her some days because I just feel like she's been pushed into a hair extension that she hasn't seen coming. I mean, in her youth, who would have known that she would be stuck between um prepare for the petty. Who Who would have known she would have been stuck between a rock and a hard place? You know what I mean? So there's your rock, and then of course the hard place is the air hostess. Yeah, that one. So you know, and you know what, guys, I don't hate anybody. I know that I try to even a bit of a score by calling out certain things, and whether or not that's my place to do it, we can have that conversation another time. Right now, I'm having too much fun. So, uh, just like the other day when I was in my feelings about The Liar, and I started thinking about Easter Island and the incredible amount of surface area between her hairline and her chin. When I thought about that, I was like, where have I seen this before? Where? Somewhere, is it in the South Pacific or the South? And then boom, there it was, Tammany Island. Uh, so this is how I keep from like falling apart when I think about some of these terribly rude people that keep messing with the Sussexes. I just do a little self therapy. I make a few memes. I throw in a couple of spicy comments, and then I'm done. Then I can get back to my life. Okay, so right here, Omid Scobie. And as I love to point out to y'all, some of y'all got it in for him, and I'm not going to argue about it because um, you all may very well be right until we know better. But people see him like a traitor, a double agent, or, you know, some kind of sly figure. But sometimes he just gets it right. Boots were licked. And he posted this on his Twitter. Right there, you see it. No one holds the Duchess of Cambridge in greater esteem than the male. While visiting Denmark, and this is from the Daily Mail, mind you, while visiting Denmark, she showed exactly why she's enthusiastically chopped logs and looked at woodland, rambled with kindergarten pupils as part of her crusade to give children a better start in life. I think having breakfast and heating is a good start, but I digress. Always smiling, never stuffy, releasing duty. Kate is the perfect ambassador, a powerful force for good, and a credit to the country. Well, there you have it. This is from Lord Nappyhead's paper. Lord Nappyhead says, and I quote, no one holds the Duchess of Cambridge in a greater esteem. That comes from the Daily Fail, courtesy of Lord Nappyhead. Yep, right there. Bruh Nappyhead said, bruh, Bruh Nappyhead said that Kate is in high esteem. So, and Omid's take on it, well, they licked her boots. So, and she was wearing boots that day when she was out there chopping wood. I still can't get over the chopping wood part. I guess to make her look more relatable, someone at Kensington Palace had the bright idea. Why don't we have her chop wood? That came from the Mormon Tabernacle Choir over at Kensington Palace. Um, why don't we have her chop wood? Uh, And so, with great enthusiasm, Keening Kate went out to the forest, strutting in her boots, and went and found some wood to chop. So she's a good sport. You can't take that away from her. She's a good sport. And thanks to, her wood chopping, she looks incredibly relatable in spite of everything. So, um, let me get to your comments and I'll go to the next slide. Let me see. Now the pieces fit. Um, the hated fit Morgan. For Morgan, smoking is one of the pastimes she enjoys with Harry until. Oh, Vetty, you're going there, aren't you? Yeah, you're going there. I think you're going there, but okay. I mean, yeah, yeah, okay. Nothing says I love the kids like walking a bunch of hungry children them through the woods. Hansel and Gretel, anybody? Well, yeah, Hansel and Gretel. Now, if I remember that story, Hansel and Gretel, that was when the witch um, uh, took the kids and put them in a cage, and she wanted to fatten them up so she could make a stew, and and she had poor eyesight, right? Am I getting that right? I remember that from childhood. She had poor eyesight, and so in order to check to see if the kids were plump enough to eat, she would reach in and grab one of them by the hands and see if their fingers were nice and plump. Now, as we know, Prince Charles, he would have been dinner that very evening because if anybody's got plump fingers, it's Prince Charles. But if Kate, if they would have grabbed Kate by the hand, oh, they would have lived forever. They would have lived forever. I mean, yeah, I won't even say what I'm thinking, but yeah, they could have sustained themselves forever as a hostage of the uh, witch from the story. But I'm trying not to go too far today. I'm not my right self, but there's something about global conflicts that get the better of me. But yeah, so that's Keening Kate. Now, there's been another magazine cover from In Touch. The one on the right is the old one. The one on the left is the newer one. And I just wanted to say, Tom and Giselle, um, you know, e- Tom has retired from football, so him and his wife Giselle can spend more time together. That's all. And then on the other one, I just wanted to point out that Wendy Williams destroyed by her husband. So I'm just sharing those two stories with you. And if you guys know anything about Tom and Giselle or Wendy Williams' husband or something like that, feel free to comment. Feel free to feel free to comment because Tom Brady, I'm a huge fan of his, right? And I haven't had a chance to purchase the magazine, so I'm showing you the cover in case you all have it. You can go and read about Tom Brady and Giselle, whatever her name is, and or you can try to figure out what's going on. You can try to figure out what's going on with Wendy Williams. So that's why I brought these to your attention. Otherwise, people might think I was trying to be shady or something. But no, seriously, Tom Brady is somebody who who concerns me because he's a football legend. And if I could figure out what team he used to play for, I could even tell you more about him. But that's why I brought this up here is because yeah, and poor Wendy Williams. That's very sad. Uh-huh. So I'm gonna leave these up here for a minute until you all can, pick out everything that you need to know about that, and then we'll go to another slide. So that was it. I'm just thinking about Tom Brady and Wendy Williams, and nothing else really um, concerns me about that other stuff. Get it? Yes. Okay, so I guess we all understand what's up with them. And next. Okay. Right royal mess. This was of course the other day what was in a Daily Fail. Again, I'm not comfortable with them declaring everybody on those flights as being criminals, but it's the Daily Mail, and if it somehow disparages people of color, then that seems to be the point, which is fascinating because I don't know why when I think about the owner of the Daily Mail, all I see is people of color, but so the Cambridges are heading to the Caribbean. We've established that. And then today, um, actually, was it today or yesterday? They had that, that press release, that statement from the palace, and it says that their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, will undertake official visit to the realm of Belize, Jamaica, and the Bahamas on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen on the occasion of the Platinum Jubilee. The visit will take place between Saturday, the 19th of March, and Saturday, the 26th of March. The royal tour begins in Belize, where the Royal Highnesses will visit historic Mayan sites and celebrate the rich culture of the Garifuna community. Okay. Oh, I wonder if they're gonna. Um, I'm just morbidly curious to figure out how what they're gonna use for transportation because sometimes when there's people of color around, they find the oddest ways to get from point A to point B. That's not shady. Let me see. The Duke and Duchess will then travel to Jamaica, where their visit will include in engaging with the Jamaican Defense Force and celebrating the. Now, see, I wouldn't let them near the Defense Force because they might be there to assess rather than just pay respect. But anyway, so and also there's the response to the pandemic. They want to know about that. They're keen to know about everything so they can go back and report to the Queen exactly how much the people love the Commonwealth, or as they say, the remnants of empire or colonization. Actually, I say that. Baron, did you like Wendy's attacking everyone? But her husband is mad because she wouldn't accept him cheating on her for years and not accepting his baby out of wedlock. Sorry, he's a piece of work. There's nothing about Wendy Williams that I find appealing. I think Wendy Williams is one of the most garish and irresponsible people. She seems to enjoy attacking other women of color, and particularly, uh, you can say that African American women seem to be on her menu most days. I was completely furious about the way she um, referenced the Duchess of Sussex again and again and again. And she just I like Harry, but it's just something about her that really rubbed me the wrong way. So yeah, no fan of Wendy Williams. I'm glad that the show is off the air. I hope she finds peace. And as Tabitha Brown said, what is it about my happiness that triggered you? Yeah, what is it about my happiness that triggered you? Tabitha Brown had the most epic, most polite, the best worded takedown I have ever seen of just about anyone. So thank you, Tabitha Brown. I think that once Tabitha Brown spoke about their thing, that really pushed her over the edge. I mean, she pretty much hasn't been seen but a few times since then. It was so bad that when Wendy returned to her show, she said, I'm just not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. She didn't want to talk about it because Tabitha Brown had dressed her down in a way that was epic. I'll never forget that, ever. That was incredible. Harry engaged with the Jamaican Defense Force. He flew a helicopter from Kingston to Montego Bay, did a shooting exercise and other stuff. Harry was top marksman in his class, so Will and Kate must do the same. um, Vinny Blair, please tell me that they are not going to give Kate a firearm. Tell me they're not going to give Kate a firearm. Uh, I'm just thinking, do we really want this one to have a firearm? Please do not give her anything lethal. Nothing. Um, I can just imagine her hair extensions getting caught up in the trigger or something. It could be a disaster. So please, please, people of Jamaica, do not give her anything, you know, like that, especially unless you want to have some type of constitutional crisis because um yeah, she's a little clumsy and I'm just afraid she may come back wearing black or something. So do not give her anything like that. Give her like I don't know, give her a rugby ball or something. Let her play cricket, but don't let her do anything that involves using certain yeah, it's just not a good idea. I wouldn't do it. Yeah. She can pick up on problems of abuse in families. I feel sorry for Charlotte and Louis. Oh, she can pick up on problems. Like I said, I wonder if she just stands in the mirror sometimes because if she wants to find a problem, she doesn't have to go far. Okay. I feel sorry for her. I mean, I don't feel sorry for her either, but her husband being mad because he cheats and she don't accept his baby out of wedlock is not innocent. And we have to add allegedly cheats. Allegedly. Um, I mean, I can't say that for sure. So we'll have to say allegedly. But Joan Garcia, did you happen to see the story about Tom Brady and Giselle? What is it, bunching? Did you see that one? Or how about that story about amazing transformation of hydroxycut? See it down there in the lower right. So I'm just sharing those with you. I'm just sharing those with you because I'm really keen to know about that hydroxy cut. I want to I want to do something about that. I'm going to do a show about the amazing transformation with hydroxy cut. So anyway, I just wanted to go back and look at those again. Don't you all love the way I don't talk about stuff? Okay, so let me remove this before I end up buying some of that hydroxycut. Uh, what woman are you talking about, Robin Rogers? Are you talking about the hydroxycut or Wendy Williams or what? Oh, I just noticed Will and Kate are on these Did y'all know that Will and Kate were on these magazine covers? I just noticed that. That is so weird. How long have they been up there? That is so weird. I just noticed that Will and Kate are on the covers of these magazines. Blimey. Okay. Well, anyway, I was going to move on, but I just noticed that they're there. Yeah, because I was looking at the hydroxycut ad down there at the bottom, and I didn't even notice that Will and Kate were on these magazine covers. Because I mean, Had I known that people might think I was being shady, and I'm certainly not. Plus, as we all know, the Cambridges are happy together, as you can tell from that very strained look on their overly aged faces that they are happy together. No greater love has there ever been in that royal family. And if the body language experts can see what I see, then they would know that they totally are into each other. They dig one another. So I don't even know why we're having this conversation because they are one of the greatest love stories ever in the history of the European royalty. So, okay, because they're happy together. You can tell. Kate's husband is a petulant, evil man, and Father Curse of the Grimaldi is not that far from him. Oh, you're speaking of Albert of Monaco, right? That guy. Um, yeah, Albert. Albert. Okay. So I think I am. We talked about that. Here is more evidence that Kate is very well received in Denmark. You can see that the 50-year-old Mary of Denmark also had her official portrait taken for her birthday. She decided not to go for that down with the Titanic look or ghost of a Victorian portrait look. She decided to do something a little different. Not that I'm saying that Kate looks like she went down with the Titanic or the ghost of a Victorian portrait, but I'm just saying that Mary is not using that kind of look. So, and Mary is 50 years old, and Kate is 40. So there's nothing shady there. Nothing to see, folks. Let's just move on. Okay, so that was that. And I'm going to go to your comments after I get rid of this. And sorry for my low energy today. As I said, I did not sleep well with everything going on. And I'm just a very soft hearted person, and things affect me like you wouldn't believe. So that is why my energy is a bit low today. But as you know, Royal Sussex has daily uploads, and I am here for you all. And you all are very gracious and kind enough to be here for me. Um, let's give love and respect to our faves, the Queen of Everything. I'm sorry, the Queen of Hearts, Princess Diana, and the Queen of Everything, Doria, Queen Doria. Okay. Uh, let me see. Let me see. Going to look at your comments, and then we are going to Ginger Avenger ourselves out of here. Betty, you say, Baron, did you hear Camilla tip to you, Kate, for her marriage to Laz is to mold her life to the way William leads his? Oh yeah, I saw that. When that um what do you call it? She didn't she say something about Kate should always make sure that her man is happy or something to that effect. As long as William is happy, then she should be happy. And that they made it seem like Meghan didn't seem to understand or some. It was ridiculous. I did see that at the time. Dorothy Ross, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker, and happy Thursday to you. See how my energy goes up when I say thank you for the super sticker. Now all of a sudden I'm ready to run the Boston Marathon. I'm just kidding. I'm struggling here. I'm gonna probably have a nap at some point. Um, Global conflicts keep me up at night. Um, Baron, I think you are a true empath. That explains your energy. Yeah, Odessa Butler, that is so true. I mean, I have struggled with this my whole life. When I know something is Like when they had the thing in Iraq and that whole shock and awe thing, for days, I would just lay in bed with my eyes open, and by the time I would fall asleep, it was hard for me to function because, that for us in the West, these are just nameless, faceless images. And for the people that's going through this, I mean, it's life or death. I mean, waking up and running down to the subway, um, I thought that ended with World War II, but apparently it hasn't. Oh, Sister and Cece, thank you so much for that. I enjoyed making that. I had so much fun putting that together. That gave me my life. It really did. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. We need to take a break from the usual daily stuff that you know, we have to absorb whether we like it or not. It's just some of that stuff is just there. So that's my way of coping is to showcase the jazz hands. Um, Let me see. More comments, more comments. I think the next video is probably going to be something edited. I have a couple of reboots that I want to do. Some of the older videos that, my editing skills were rather crude. I would like to do those over, like the one I did with Patrick J. Adams. I did a reboot on that one because the quality just wasn't there at the time. And for the things that he said, I just thought it deserved a second look. So that will be in the works is a couple of reboot videos. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. And for those of you that go back and watch some of the older videos, I really, really appreciate that. Did I actually get your live chat? I cannot believe it. Well, I'm glad you're here. Everything at the royal family has been through. I bet you they are regretting ever having a disagreement with the mighty Meghan. Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. They won't ever admit it though. They are too superior, ordained, and everything. They will never admit to their mistake, but a mistake they have made. It's a few brave courtiers who will inform them that maybe we should think of things differently, but ever admitting that they're sorry or that they made a mistake. I mean, even driving Princess Diana out of the country and everything, that didn't seem to bother them in the least. Kim knew she bought a a pig in a poke. I knew she would take all the money and when he started acting up. Okay. Um, are we speaking about Kanye? Kim K? Kanye? Lauren Nappyhead is Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks. He and Katniss Owens are two Uncle Ruckus children's disgusting lizards. I agree with that. I agree with that. Lord Nappyhead forgot from whence he's came or whatever they say. Um, Baron, you care deeply like I do, but please don't let it overcome your life. I promise, Black Queen. I promise I won't. I'm working on that. I'm working on that. I'm going to I'm going to do some things in my personal life that I should have done a long time ago, and that's going to give me. I'm just one of those people. I always need something to look forward to. I need to have something to look forward to, and I try never to look back. Um, but yeah, I'm just being very candid about this. I think what time did I go to bed? I think it was about 5 a.m. and it took me like a few hours to put up the well, you guys know when you got the notice for this video, it was pretty late and I was sitting up here like trying not to think about everything else and just focus on putting this together for today, and I just couldn't do it. I was just like, oh, those poor people, and I hated what I was seeing. I looked at that and I'm just like, not again, not again, you know? So I have to make sure that but I stopped watching like MSNBC. I think I stopped watching them like a few years ago. Um, and there's a lot of those things that I had to abandon. And I mentioned before that when the Orange Menace was president, my safe space was Harry and Meghan. My safe space was Harry and Meghan. Watching Harry and Meghan going out and doing the walkabouts and visiting with dignitaries and stuff like that. That was my safe space. And when they were driven out of the country, when they had to flee for the safety of themselves and their child, I felt like something had been taken away from me. I'm just like, why did that happen? You know, I would see the head looks like everybody else. I saw those headlines. I wake up and I had that anguish because I wanted to hear good news, great news, and everybody's getting along, and Megan has demonstrated that she can be a princess of the realm and she can also be a feminist. That's what I was hoping for. But like I say, I felt like something had been ripped away from me when I realized that it just wasn't working out and that they had to leave and that they were determined to start something new. And then of course, like a lot of people, I was afraid for them. We all had that fear of what's going to happen to the Sussexes, especially when they were in Canada. And then, and I know I'm like rehashing a lot of stuff, but that's the that's how I got to where I am right now. And yeah, so that was Meghan and Harry were my safe space. And I can't say that to a lot of people away from the squad because they don't really get it. But I've had other safe spaces. We when the Obamas was in the White House, that was one of those situations where I was just like, oh, you know what? This is pretty cool. I see representation. So and that's why when they say people can never underestimate how important representation is to a community. So for the African American community, as an American of African descent, I've gone through a lifetime of people underestimating and underguesstimating what I'm capable of or what I can do for myself. And when you see someone that looks like you or comes from your ethnic background or heritage in a position like the Duchess of Sussex or Barack Obama, and I mentioned in the past that growing up, I remember when most of the big cities in the United States, Philadelphia, New York, um, Chicago, Los Angeles, when these African American men, and I don't think at that time there were any women, but when these African American men became mayors of these big cities, you had maybe 100 million people or more in direct constituency of these African American men. And they demonstrated that they could do it, that they could do it in spite of everything that was working against them. I hope I'm not being too preachy right now, but yeah, that's um where my feelings about the Sussexes evolve, especially the emotional connection to Harry because of his mother, and the Duchess of Sussex because as an African American, I know what it takes to get to where she was able to take herself in spite of everything that may have worked against her, being very difficult for them to identify a role for her because she wasn't white enough to do this and she wasn't black enough to do that. That's everybody's story at some point that is of mixed race. So those things are very important to have representation. So you can never underestimate that. But I got some good news for you guys. Hello, Ivy here. Hey, Ivy. Welcome to the live chat. Hello, Ivy here. So that always lifts my spirit when I say that. I don't care. I could be in the worst possible mood, and when I say, "Hello, Ivy here," it just seems like something has washed the blues away from me, and so I feel much better because Ivy is here. Look at there. Everybody loves Ivy. And if you guys don't know, Ivy has a channel called Sussex Global UK, and Ivy gets to the root of everything. I mean, there I could think of 1,000 things that I could say, and it could never go as deep as Ivy's channel. So make sure you check her out. And speaking of channels, the Duchess of Success is coming up in about a little less than an hour, I think. So you have that, and Miss VSN was on earlier. So you could always go back and check that out. So do support these Sussex friendly channels. It's very important for the Sussexes. Um, Everybody is doing their thing a very different way. Even Morale, you know, we don't actually say he's a squatty, but he's definitely a squat sympathizer. So that's cool. And then, of course, and there's some other channels. So, as you know, I have mentioned quite a few of them in the community tab. So if you go through the community tab, you can find that there is links to just about everything I mentioned. So that's I think that's it for today. Any last comments? Who wants to have the last word before I ginger avenger ourselves out of here? The therapist said for our mental health, we should stop uh, watching the news. That is, yeah, the cable news networks. Oh, they're the worst, Joan Garcia. That is the best advice. That is the best advice. If you're not messed up before you get to the cable news networks, by the time you get done, you are going to be as crazy as a road lizard, as crazy as a Betsy bug, a bit daft. You may find yourself, I don't know, grinning uncontrollably. So, yeah, if you go to those cable networks, you may do yourself a bit of harm. So, try to avoid them in moderation. That's all I could say is everything in moderation because you don't want that to happen to you. Could you imagine if your face got stuck like this? Could you imagine what that would do to you? What would that do to your social life if every place you go and everything you did, this is how you presented yourself to the world? What would happen to you? One can't be sure, can one? I don't know. Maybe you can be a Duchess of the Realm or a Princess of the Realm. Okay, yeah, I can't get into that one, but I am watching. Oh, I have a question, you guys. Do you guys want to have like a, a discussion about the Gilded Age? I'm watching the Gilded Age. I just finished like the fifth episode, but that is my favorite new thing is the Gilded Age. As you guys know, I was a huge fan of Downton Abbey. So if you guys want to have a discussion one day about the Gilded Age, we could do that. As you know, there is a bit of representation in the Gilded Age. I'm sorry. Baron, last word. Love you all and stay safe until next live podcast. Okay, I like that, Thea. I like that. We'll let that be it then. Oh, Emerald Derek, yes, you like the Gilded Age? I love it. I love it. And those characters, just like Downton Abbey, those characters are based on actual people. So the stories, they take a bit of license with it, but they are based on actual people. Like I'm gonna say that Bertha is Bertha. I think Bertha is supposed to be the Vanderbilt, Consuela Vanderbilt's mother. I think that's who Bertha is supposed to be. But the name Bertha, there was another Bertha from Chicago, Bertha Honore Palmer. Her husband owned the Palmer House Hotel. And he was also famous for his partial ownership of the Marshall Fields department store. And there's another connection there. Um, the Selfridges department store was actually uh, Gordon G. Selfridge was actually a an American. So there's a lot of like connections like that. So those stories from the Gilded Age, they are mostly based on actual people. So okay. All right. So everybody have a good day. Don't forget to enjoy the other Sussex friendly channels. Make sure you show them support because even though okay, I got to get that out of there. Even though you guys I'm just take care of yourselves and take care of others. Make sure you hydrate and those things, and look out for your mental health and well-being. And I tell you, if you are struggling right now, a good place to get some, I guess, ideas is to go back and watch The Me You Can't See. That's a good one right there. The Me You Can't See. If you're trying to decide whether or not you need help, that may help you decide that you may need help. So, okay. All right. So that was the last word. We are going to Ginger Avenger ourselves out of here. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And I do apologize for the low energy day. I am going to try to keep myself busy and try to avoid, this conflict that's going on because it is a worry. But let's keep them in our prayers. Okay. All right. Love you all. And cue Ginger Avenger.